I'd like to call to order the Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Jenny, can you take roll call, please?
Yes. Jackie Balboni.
Here.
George Kay. Here. Srinivasa Chelikanda. Genevieve Corsi.
Here.
James Hennessy. Michael Kelly.
Here.
Mitchell Marks.
Here.
William Nowak. Renee Powell.
Here.
Miguel Perano. Here. Toby Lewis. Here. Kristen Kazakowski. Braden McNaught. And also in attendance, Molly Keys and Jenny Tatro.
Thank you very much. Can I have a motion for approval of minutes from the previous meeting?
I believe there was an error that you'd like to address.
Yes, thank you. On, I believe it is page 3, at the top where it says Chairperson Novak, I believe that should say Chairperson Kelly.
So approve the minutes.
Do I approval with the substitute, with the correction?
Approval of the minutes with the, make a motion for approval of the minutes with the correction?
Second.
Any objections? Thank you. And public input.
Back there.
No, all right, anybody? Is there any public input? Is there any public input? Seeing none. Report of the council liaison, Toby.
I have nothing to report at this time from the council. Thanks.
Thank you, Toby. Report of the Board of Education liaison.
Thank you. I have two things to report. First of all, last time I mentioned the plan to improve the high school campus. On January 16th, that was, the council voted to postpone that indefinitely. And then the Board of Ed, Dr. Carter presented her budget to the Board of Ed for this fiscal year at our meeting, regular meeting in January. We had two subsequent budget workshops to discuss that, and based on the Board of Ed members' comments that were there, we all strongly support it, and we look forward to voting for it on, February 27th, which is our next regular meeting. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitchell.
Excuse me, Chairperson.
Yes, Toby.
I forgot. It's my third meeting this week so far. The council approved the ADA monies for the survey for Parks and Rec, for the building.
Great.
So it's,
Thank you. Any special reports? Seeing none. Report of open task force liaison. I believe that is George.
Yeah, we didn't have a meeting this month.
Alrighty. And the report of the Parks and Recreation Director.
All right, good evening, everyone. Happy February. So we are deep in our youth basketball league and all of our adult programs. And we are also, again, forward thinking to spring and summer, as we have had to finalize all of our plans for pretty much every program all the way up until September. So we are, a little bit playing in the present, dealing with our current leagues and our, basketball program, but also really eager to get going on all of our really awesome programs and events that we have planned for the spring and summer. But our adult leagues are going really well. Adult volleyball we have for the remainder of the month, and then we go into playoffs in early March, and we have 300 players in that league. It's a very popular league, and we're excited for the playoffs for that. Youth basketball, we are about a month into games now, so we have about a month more of regular season games. We have expanded our Mighty Mites and More Mighty Mites programming this year, just due to having that additional gym at PV and the demand. We wanted to try to expand the program. So that has been going well. We actually have a training occurring right now for our Mighty Mite and More Mighty Mite basketball staff. So they are currently over at our facility doing a staff training to kind of go over some further curriculum to enhance that program. But then basketball is going well other than that. And then some other highlights. We do have the ski and snowboard club that's been going on. We are on week 4 of that program. We have 168 participants in our program this year, which ski and snowboard has always been a popular program, and we're looking at ways to also enhance that and potentially take on more kids next year, as there has been a growing demand for that program. So that's going well. And then we had one snow day with our 4th R program that I wanted to touch on. So we had 27 kids that came for the snow day program. And then past that, now we do have a vacation program in February for those interested in signing up for 4th R vacation day programs. And we really haven't had a huge influx of interest in our vacation day programs ever since COVID, so we're really trying to build up those programs. And we don't know if it's because parents' flex schedules or more so people are working from home potentially, so we are looking at trying to analyze what vacation days in the upcoming years we can feasibly run or how we should really amend that program. So we're going to be playing it out for the rest of the year to see how we can make the program more successful. Not 4th R, but the vacation programs. And then in preschool, so our winter registration was probably about 2 weeks ago at this point. And that was very successful. We had 100% enrollment across all of our parent-child classes, our 2- and 3-year-old independent classes, and our 3- to 5-year-old independent classes. So our numbers are extremely high for that. It was like 8:01, 8:02 in the morning, and something was full already, one of the classes. So that speaks highly to the awesome program that we run and the incredible teachers, and that also shows the demand that we do have for that program. In terms of events that have gone on, we did have Dodgeball Night on January 19th. We had 81 participants and 40 spectators, so that was a fun time. So we thank everyone for coming out to that event. It's really turned into a really fun parent-child opportunity. And we do have another family event that is occurring this Friday at our facility. It's going to be a family game night. So right now we have 8 teams that have signed up, so it's probably going to be about like 20-ish participants so far. So if anyone's interested, we do have that family game night going on this Friday at 7 p.m., and we do have signups available on our website. And I do want to highlight, so our park superintendent, John Caldwell, was not able to make it tonight, and I wanted to give some parks highlights just to make sure that we are highlighting the awesome crew that we do have for our parks division. So some stuff that we're doing. December, we did some dormant seeding of bluegrass at Rye Street Park to help prep for our spring season. And then we also have started to apply a seed shield, which is basically preventing protective measures for the ground, and it helps mitigate the risk of seed washout. So you might see some of them on some of the fields. I think you could see some on Nevers as you're driving by the police department, that's the one that I could kind of see. So if you see those around, it's just to help protect the seed on our fields. So some other things that are going on is we've had ongoing focus on tree maintenance throughout the winter within the parks and open spaces. because we have had favorable weather conditions depending on the week for it. And then we've also had a little bit of adaptive mowing schedule. So traditionally we mow the open spaces in the fall, and however, we've had some really wet conditions, so they had a window of opportunity to do it in the winter months, so we were able to figure out and adapt our mowing schedule to the weather. Some other pieces, we are doing boardwalk replacement at Major Michael Donnelly, and that helps with the wet areas, and really just replacing the boardwalks that are over there, because the current structure has been there for over a decade. It's really deteriorated, and again, it's a really wet area. So throughout the winter, and we'll do it in the spring too, we'll remove not all the sections, but majority of the sections, and install about 66 10-foot long replacements. So that's a project deal ongoing, seeing the parks, and also we'll be having some Boy Scouts do some projects with that as well. There's like a solar lights, if you can see it on Chief Ryan Way. We installed those recently, and it was actually featured on a LinkedIn post that John Caldwell shared with us through the company, because they really loved our install job for the solar lights. I'll have to share it with you guys via email. And then we're doing some other projects around the town, whether it's really working on some of our small pieces of equipment, prepping for the spring season, replacing signs, working on kind of just getting out there and doing some prep and cleanup, because once spring hits, it's all in to prep the athletic fields, get ready for the busy spring and summertime in terms of trail use and all of our events. So the crew has been keeping busy, and we're excited for warmer weather to kind of maintain our time outside. And I do want to give them also a shout out. So there has been a few winter events that have occurred during the month of January, and in conjunction with Public Works, they've had to work long duration of hours. So again, anytime that you see anyone from Public Works Parks, it is truly just giving them a shout out and saying thank you, because they do stay up for really long hours to make sure that our roads are safe in South Windsor. So I do want to note that the staff have done a great job with that. And I do also want to take a moment to shout out to my recreation staff. We had a rec supervisor take on another opportunity, and the rest of the team have come on together to make sure that none of those programs had a gap, and they've really stepped up and helped to ensure that they would cover all the programs, help to make sure that there's been consistent communication, and the front office has done a fantastic job too at making sure that they can help in any way possible. So they've really come together, and they've taken on some additional tasks. And with that vacant position, we are hoping to fill it by mid-March, as we do have interviews this week. So we can hopefully have a full team again before the spring. So thank you.
Thank you, Molly. Does anyone have any questions for Molly? All right.
Do I want I've almost forgot to mention about the ADA portion.
Yes.
So we did meet with the Public Building Commission. Genevieve attended the meeting with me, and that was about 3 weeks ago. And we went with the PBC to chat about where we are now at 350 Foster Street, chat a little bit about that facility, talk about some of our challenges with the facility, and what we would like to see in order to be able to operate our programs effectively. And from that, they had asked me to send over our programs so that way they can analyze the space, and they are getting ADA money that will help with a study that Colliers will put on to see what the sustainability is going to be within the 350 Foster Street, and if it's going to be a feasible location for us, how much is it going to cost, things in that nature, so that way we can really take a deep dive and see what action steps we can take to make this facility more beneficial for the community.
Thank you very much. And I'm sorry if I missed anything. Did you have any updates on capital projects?
Yeah, so we did just pass, well, capital projects passed, it was not me. They passed a proposed budget that is now going to the town manager, which will then go to the town council, and that does include the figure for the fairgrounds and the pool covers. So all of those projects were passed on to the town manager level.
Fantastic.
Can you remind me about the fairgrounds? Is that running the electric?
Yeah, so there's a few pieces of the fairgrounds. The capital portion is mainly for the pavilion or a part of the pavilion, as Rotary Club has potentially offered to donate for the other half of it, as they do usually typically highlight one project through their auction. And then we are looking at other potential avenues for funding to get all of the utilities, water, sewer, electrical. We are in the works for that, and hopefully we'll hear back within the next month or so if we do get the funding to cover that.
Thank you. Any other questions for Molly? All right. Discussion topics. Does anybody else have any discussion topics? All right. The only thing I wanted to bring up was our master plan. I believe this is the most current one, which was finished in 2020. And it's gorgeous and it's lovely, but it's 2024, which is kind of crazy to realize. So I do think that is something that we should consider tackling. And I know right now it's budget season and we all have a million meetings all week, every week. Does anyone have any opinion on forming a subcommittee? Would people have the capacity to work on that? Is it something maybe, I thought maybe we can push it to next month once we get through budget season, and then we might have a little more time on our hands. Any thoughts?
Any thoughts of how to attack that? I mean, we've done it for so many years. Would it be better to almost do it here as a subject? Maybe we take a piece at a time?
That's what we've done before. It's just we do a section at a time and see if
Okay.
there's any amendments that have to get done or any, like some of those old, some of the parks have different facility stuff put in them already that aren't in that one, that I've done in the last couple of years, so you can add that in. But if you do a section at a time as a group,
Okay.
I mean, we have the time. I mean, we're usually done in 20 minutes. If we set a time limit of like 20 minutes to a half hour every meeting, we can get through that fairly quickly.
Okay.
But if you do it that way, like say next month we're doing the first section, everybody look at it and then you come up with some ideas, or if nothing has to get done, then we just move on.
Okay. So what, this is broken up into 7 sections. As far as like the demographics, the data, does that come from your staff? Right.
Yeah, that would come
Okay.
from us.
Okay.
And then we can, again, when we start to go through the master plan, we do a lot of surveys already in-house on our programs, so that way we can incorporate those to get up-to-date data on that as well.
Okay. So does everyone, and I think Jackie, I'm not sure if we have a binder for you. Okay, do we have any extra? Do we have any extra of the master plan binders by chance? Okay.
We'll print one out and make one, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So we can get you that as well. Do we want to start with the first section, if everyone can kind of go through it, make notes, come to the next meeting with suggestions?
Yep.
Or if it's questions or you need clarification, and then we can set aside 15 to 20 minutes at the next meeting?
That works, yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I think Toby was giving up his book. Is that what you?
Yeah, we have an extra one?
I have one.
Okay.
And also, it might interest you, I don't know if you could find it, but the previous director was able to tap into a college intern home on vacation. When he came home, he'd do work on putting it together for us, and that was a great resource. It really kept things rolling. Because everyone gets bogged down in the details and the bits and the bytes, and this guy collated everything. So that could be an idea worth looking into, putting into some feelers out.
Yeah, we were potentially looking at having a summer intern for the department in general, so that certainly could be on their tasks
Yeah, I
throughout the
think if
summer.
anyone has historical knowledge and memories on kind of what has been done, if you can bring that to the next meeting, that would be great. I think that would be really helpful.
I do want to highlight that if anyone would like access to the National Rec and Park Association, they have data nationally on upcoming trends in the field, examples of what other towns and communities are doing in different areas of the country. It's just a really good resource to kind of see what other master plans look like too, as well. They just have a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of resource opportunities through articles, magazines, videos. So I'd be happy to make sure that people have login information. If you, please let me know if you're interested. I'd love to give that to you. It's, again, a fantastic resource.
Can you send that to all of us just to get on? Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah, I can certainly do that.
I thought we got on it already.
All right, thank you.
I get messages, yeah, so I must have.
Other business, I did just want to say welcome to Jackie Balboni and welcome to the commission. We're looking forward to working with you. If you need anything, let me know. Yeah, is there any other business that we need to hit? No? All right. Do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.